to
Pardon our honesty.
Where today, I ain't feeling it. And I swear it's because I'm going through menopause. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I have a whole cheat sheet of all the things.
And I'm just going to be eye candy.
No. That make me feel like right now, today is like a bad day for my menopause. All right, so I'm 48. Everybody knows that. Megan?
Wait, what? I gotta say my age?
No, you don't have to say
No,
your age.
I'm gonna be 43. But wait, let me ask you a question first before you dive in. She has all her little stats prepared and notes, but what would you say? Okay, what would you say the top 3? Like, hey, this could be menopause. If you were meeting somebody, you can go into your notes, but
the top 3 things I would say are menopause. So there's 2 stages of menopause. Most people, I think, know it, but maybe you guys don't, because it's something that women don't talk about. One, because I think when you say menopause, everybody's like, oh hell, you're old. You supposed to be in the home. You just a rag bag. You done. God done with you, and you're no longer a woman. But if you have ovaries, you have a cervix, you are going to go through menopause, right? So perimenopause is prior to the menopause. So the menopause definition is you have not had a period for a whole year consecutively, 12 months. Then you're in menopause. But the time prior to that is when you got all these wonderful symptoms. So I would say hot flashes, they suck. Reduced sex drive. So if you was like this rabbit and you was ready to go all the time, and now all of a sudden you like, I'm good. And that I'm good turns into, well, we used to do it 5 times a week. Now we're doing it 3 times a week. Now we done got to about 2 weeks and I'm still good. Then you probably in perimenopause. And then the other thing would be, I guess, night sweats, maybe. I think those are the 3 things that I felt like, okay, this is signaling, girl, you're going through the change.
The change.
The change, I think the change has some good parts and it has some bad parts. The hot flashes are definitely bad.
Is there any way to control the hot flashes?
You can do hormone replacement therapy, but I just haven't got to that point that I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do it.
I've heard that this may be like an old wives' tale, maybe I could Google it or whatever, but it's like, do red meats and things like that play into the effect of those hot flashes?
I don't know. I never know. But I do know, like, with puberty, I feel like the things that we do to our food have accelerated how young girls
people are going
get puberty, and they may accelerate how fast we get to menopause, because, you know, in my parents' generation, I think they felt like menopause happens when you're 60 or you're 70. But the study now says the average age of menopause, you don't have a period for a whole year, is 51.
Wow. And
so 10 years prior to that 51 average, at like 40, 41, 42, you may start experiencing some of the symptoms of menopause, and you're like, well, what the hell is wrong with me?
So why don't you share some of this wonderful, this looks like a beautiful list.
And some things I had no idea they were associated with menopause. So you got irregular periods, you know, coming and going. Vaginal dryness, I always associate that with the old grandma.
Yeah.
Hot flashes, chills that I did not know, night sweats, sleep problems, whether you can't go to sleep, you can't stay asleep, or you wake up too early. Mood changes, I knew that, anxiety, depression, irritability, stress. Weight gain because your metabolism is slowing down. Thinning hair, didn't know that. Dry skin, loss of breast fullness, which could be a good thing. And fatigue, sore boobs, did not know that. Lapses in memory, heart palpitations, which I do have, body odor, and brain fog. So when y'all saying, Tiffany, you just being crazy, you can't remember shit, that's menopause. So
people who I've had weight gain. I always have mood changes. Sometimes I'm anxious, sometimes I'm depressed, sometimes I'm irritable, sometimes I'm stressed. How do you designate? And sometimes I guess I have sleep problems. Sometimes I can't go to sleep, but I think that's because I stimulate my brain. Like I'm on my phone or watching TV. But like, is the best way to differentiate is your age. So if I'm hitting my 40s, these are probably good chance that I'm in the perimenopause.
I would say yes, and then getting a blood test. So if you're having these symptoms, and throughout this, I'm going to say you need to go to your doctor. When they do your blood test, they can measure the levels of your estrogen. And say, for instance, you had your annual exam this year, you go back next year and it's lower than it was this year. Okay, yeah, you're starting to get
So you would ask them for like a hormone panel, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do that. I'm going to do that. I have an appointment next week. This week, Friday.
You should.
So I'll ask.
Yeah, you should.
We can use me as a guinea pig to do a follow-up.
And the one thing I will say about the loss in breast fullness, so me, I have dense breast tissue. So it's really hard for them to be able to tell when I'm doing my mammographies where the cancer is, because it shows up as white. But because my tissue is dense, everything is white. So as I'm aging and going through this menopause process, I'm going to start getting, my tissue will start getting fatty.
So it'll be easier to see.
So it'll be easier to see. So that is one good thing about menopause.
That's a great way to find a positive.
I know. To find your breast cancer. But yeah, heart palpitations.
Well, not that you would have breast cancer, but positive that you do better screenings.
Yes, you get better screenings as you're going through this menopause. Heart palpitation, I've had those, since my 30s. I did not know it was related to menopause. I always thought it was something wrong with my heart. And I had like really extensive studies right before I got out of the military on my heart, but maybe it's related to my menopause.
Yeah, just started earlier? Because your 30s is quite a bit early.
So I think the best way, you asked that already earlier, the best way to tell whether you're in menopause or perimenopause is to ask your mom when she went through menopause. If she can give you kind of a guess.
If she had a full hysterectomy at a young age,
Sorry, boo. So
that's a good idea for y'all. Yeah.
If you can ask your mother, hey mom, when did you go through menopause? Then that can kind of give you an idea of, if you're having these symptoms, am I in perimenopause? Now, see, I learned something new today, which is menopause means you just stop, but you're still going to have some of these symptoms, right? So basically what the body is saying is, girl,
wait, hold up. You just said menopause, you stop. Stop what?
You stop your menstrual cycle.
Period. Okay,
consecutive months.
Gotcha.
But the reason we go through menopause, so perimenopause, is the body is saying, look, girl, we shutting this baby maker factory down.
We don't need no more babies.
We are not having any more babies. So we thank you for your generosity and letting us hang out and be here, but we're not doing that anymore. So that's why you have menopause, perimenopause, right? But the thing that I did also learn during this research was your estrogen, that's what you start losing as you go through menopause, controls your reproductive system, but it also helps your brain, helps your bones, which is why a lot of older women have osteoporosis or osteoarthritis. You start losing your bone calcium, and then it also regulates your heart.
Wow. It's very important.
Yeah. So
that's maybe why it is important to consider hormone replacement therapy as you get older, because those things are affecting the rest of your body as well.
So you get an increase of breaks, of course, because your bones are getting brittle. And then you have an increase in cardiovascular disease. So if you have a history of this already, like you're saying, hormone replacement in your family, hormone replacement might be really, really good. Something else that I did not know, and we don't talk about this, is you get incontinence. As your estrogen goes down. So estrogen.
Okay, but hold up. I've been peeing when I sneeze for like 10 freaking years or 20 years. If I jump on a trampoline, peace out, homie. If I throw up, peace out, homie. If I have to go to the bathroom really bad and you start making me laugh and I sneeze, peace out, homie. Like, so you mean I'm gonna full out pee myself, or you mean like a little piddle paddle in my pants? Because that's like a common everyday thing.
No, you might start being unable to control your bladder.
Okay, then I would say for me, I would not want to be 50 in that spot. So I'd be doing those little Kegel exercises.
Yes.
And if I had to do a bladder something.
Yes. But they say as estrogen
so get on your estrogen. Good Lord.
Contributes to the elasticity.
We'd all be at dinner at 50 wearing our diapers.
Well, they make them really nice.
I know they
now.
do. But I don't want to be 50 and maybe 60, 70, 80 doing that. Not 50. 43. No offense. If that happens to you, I'm sorry. I'm not making jokes. But I would make preventatives. How could we prevent that?
Okay.
So if hormone replacement therapy would prevent that, I think I'd look into that.
Yes. But the tissue in your vaginal walls gets thinner because you're losing your estrogen, and your urethra that controls, like you're saying, being able to hold it, it loses its elasticity as well. So
we got to work on that, ladies.
What? So Kegel exercises are good, and then see.
I said that, and look, it's on her notes, and I didn't even know that.
So yeah, Kegel exercises are good. You need to be doing those every day, and then see your doctor because they got that little chair you can sit in that'll do it for you. For the older ladies, you never seen that?
What?
They have this, what is it called? Oh my gosh.
Sounds like a sex toy you'd have at home.
No, it's only in the doctor's office, and it's used to help with incontinence, and it basically does 1,000 and so many minutes of Kegel exercises to help you not pee yourself.
Well, that's cool.
So replacement therapy, doing your Kegels every day, and see your doctor to get on this little chair definitely will help with that. Sexual function. Your estrogen controls your sexual function. So, if you have a decrease in your desire, it may be menopause related. So I have a
question. I know this is a menopause video, but do men have the same thing? Because I feel like men want to have sex until they're 100 and dying on their bed.
No, yes.
They have the same thing.
Because they have estrogen as well. It's produced in the testes. I was looking this up, y'all. And so as it decreases, it may have a different effect on them. But as their testosterone decreases, yes, they have menopause. That's what I call it. Yeah, you got menopause today because you irritable. Go away. But yeah, men have their own version of menopause as well. But if you're having decrease in sexual desire, now you might want to get your little blue pill, get on the hormone replacement therapy, or talk to your doctor.
They have female pills too.
Yeah. Or talk to your doctor and talk to your partner. So all of this that we're talking about today, menopause, you got to talk to your partner about it.
Well, I would say too, yes, talk to your partner, but talk to your doctor. Yeah. So I'm not a person who goes to the doctor regularly.
What?
I only go if I have to go. And when I go, I'm like, just get me in and get me out. But this month, because of some other things that have happened in our life, I went in and I told him to run a whole blood panel on everything. I'm getting my heart checked. I'm getting my brain checked. I'm getting a bunch of stuff checked because I'm 40 something years old. And I've been kind of negligent of that. But the interesting thing is that my iron came back low. My vitamin D is low. I didn't do a hormone panel yet. I'll ask for that on Friday. But, the woman was saying that most women over 40, over 30 have neglected their own health care. And they don't realize it till their late 40s, early 50s. And that's where she was saying a lot of women have osteoporosis. They've got iron deficiencies from those periods and not supplementing enough iron. And that's why they're tired and get headaches. So I think there's a lot of things that coincide with each other.
That's true.
When you go and you're in this age group, you want to look for that. But in general, we need to be more advocate and say, test my blood or test my hormones. And am I tracking good? Get your mammograms. Because all of you're saying now how it can affect you so much health wise, but if you're waiting till you're 50, that's really late in the game to start changing your vitamins and your hormones. And so
the osteoporosis, that is an effect of losing your estrogen. I've been taking vitamin D3, and that's what they give you to kind of help with strengthening those bones and everything. I've been taking that for probably 7-8 years.
But see, that's good because that's what they gave me. They told me I have to take the 3,000 something whatever because mine was so low. But if mine's already so low and then I go into menopause, I'm really going to be, you know what I mean? So I think people need to be proactive before they get to this point.
Yes, you should.
Maybe that would help with some of these things.
And I think, like you're saying, I've always had to go to the doctor every year for at least an annual exam because of being in the military. At 40, you have an annual over 40 physical. So they are looking for all of these things. And even like you asked me, well, why don't you go into hormone replacement therapy? So when I went to the physician, I think 2 years ago, I asked them, hey, I'm having these really horrible hot flashes. And the lady looked at me and she was like, baby, you can't do nothing about that. So unless I push the issue, I'm probably not going to be offered hormone replacement therapy unless I'm like,
you're
hey,
saying you're uncomfortable. And, right. And that's the other thing I think too. I know it's probably a little off subject, but being your own advocate when it comes to the doctor. Like when I went in the other day, she's like, well, why do you want these? And I'm like, because I want to see how I'm doing. Like I'm tired or this or whatever. And she's like, well, we don't really do. I'm like, well, I would like them. Like, why not? You know, so, and I know it's insurance and things like that, but also for people who do not have insurance that are listening that say, you know, I can't get an exam or I can't get a mammogram. There are places that run like mammogram promotions where you can get one free a year. If you ask to be cash pay and you call around, you usually can find a doctor who will, when I didn't have insurance for a while, like I got my yearly exam for $150. I know that can be a lot of money for some people, but it's better to be ahead of things than behind. So don't neglect going because you don't have insurance. You could find a provider with a cash pay that would do a discounted, even like Planned Parenthood. They do a ton of exams and you don't have to have insurance. They do blood work, they do exams, they do all kinds of stuff. So, and they base it on income. So you could, you know, possibly go there and get it. So don't skip it.
Don't skip
if you don't have insurance.
Don't skip it. So one thing I will say, a lot of, like for me, like you asked earlier, how did I know I was going through menopause? Or in perimenopause. So I had a hysterectomy in 2011. I had a partial. So I still have ovaries, which helped to kind of not throw me into menopause immediately. But I did have my cervix removed. And I still go and get like an annual vaginal exam just to make sure that there is no cancer in the vaginal canal. And I had a hysterectomy because I had horrible menstrual cycles. Like I would go through a regular pad and a tampon in an hour. If I didn't go and change, I would mess up my clothes. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. And I also had the high risk strain of HPV that they know was a cause of cervical cancer. So I think I was probably 38 maybe. I was like, you know what? This is for the birds. I'm done with this. I gave it up. So if you've had a hysterectomy or partial, it is going to be a little bit more difficult because you're not having that regular cycle anymore. But definitely, you know your body. Track it. If something feels off, you want to know more, ask your doctor. Menopause does not mean you're an old hag. You can still have sex, baby. You might not have all the sex, but you can still have
once
sex.
a month.
And it can be the best once a month you ever had. So there are things that, you know, you got lubes and, you know, just go to one of those sex stores.
Yeah, go to one of those sex stores or, I mean, be experimental or talk to your partner or you might have to actually like get your brain in the, you know, watch something, read something to get your mind in the, but like she said, if you're not getting there and it's causing a conflict in your relationship, then you need to go to a doctor or you need to figure out something that you could do together or something you could do because we do understand like a physical relationship in most relationships is a very important part. And you don't want to just use the excuse, oh, I'm in menopause, we're never going to be physical again. Yeah. Because that other person doesn't feel the same way. So, you know.
Have some problems.
Yes.
Have some problems. But you still can be desirable. I do want to say that.
And it doesn't mean you're old, like she said. You're not old.
There are some
means we're getting older.
Beautiful women that I've seen that do these TikToks and they're in their 50s, 55, 60. They still are physically fit. It's gonna take a little more work because you know the metabolism done said.
Well, listen, well, yes, there are some women that are fit, whatever. Yeah, I do, but I go to lunch every month with a group of women that I think the youngest in the group is 65, but they're so active. Yeah. Like I wouldn't say any of them are fitness people, but they're so active. They take cruises, they go on trips, and they're going out to lunches, and that's what you don't want to lose just because you say, I'm tired and I don't feel good and I'm irritable. You got to fix that so you keep having a fun life and a fun enjoyment. Yes. A lot of people ask about this subject, which I find interesting because I think it's another topic, like most of our topics, that people just don't openly talk about, especially because I would say, like, in my 40s, the first thing Tiffany said today when we were sitting down was like, well, you're in it. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
And she's like, you're moody. I'm always fucking moody. Like, what are you talking about? But I feel like you have a natural, like, defense. Like, no, I'm not. Like, because you and your brain think it means I'm old or my time is ending or, like, I'm never going to be a cool kid again or, like, but it really doesn't mean that. And I think a lot, like she said, I've never really asked my mom about menopause. I mean, I knew she had a hysterectomy when I was like 13, but like, it's not a conversation that I was like, you know, hey mom, tell me about your menopause experience, you know? So I'm sure most people out there probably haven't, I don't know. So it's probably a reason why we got that reached out to us to say, talk about it, because a lot of people prior, like, what the hell's going on with me? And they, like we've said, if you don't have a circle of people, like our circle of friends is a different age. We go from low 40 to almost 50. Yeah. So there, and like my friend Connie, she's been telling me about perimenopause for, I don't know, years. Yeah. But you have to have those people too, you know, that say, girl, that's what that is. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Because sometimes this can be scary. Like if you're having heart palpitations and you're like, oh shoot, is my heart about to give out? Or is it just a symptom or a side effect of menopause?
But I'm totally going to use the whole brain fog and lapses in memory.
That's real, though.
I know. It's real. It happens to me. So I'm going to say that now I'm not just forgetful, that I might be in perimenopause.
Yes. And that hopefully this makes it normal for a lot more women that, you know, okay, yeah, I can't lose this pouch that's at the bottom of my stomach. That's because your metabolism has slowed down. And so one thing I will say, as I've gotten older, I do watch what I eat. I mean, I have a unhealthy relationship with food anyway, but I still watch what I eat because unless I'm going to get in the gym and go for like 2 hours, like that weight, if I'm eating all the wonderful things that are on this earth, that weight might just stay on me. And I still, like you say, want to have an active life. I want to go kayaking with you. I want to go hiking. I want to go on the cruises. I don't want to be this shriveled up old hag that just because I went through menopause that I'm just like, okay, life is over. Life is not over. Yes. Life is not over.
But advocate for your health. Pay attention to the symptoms. Yes. Get a book. There's tons of books on it. So get a book and read. Because there are some things like, don't make fun of me, but there's oils, there's natural remedies, meditations, there's all kinds of like things, yoga, there's your diet. Like she said, avoiding a lot of processed foods. There are some things that they say can help with some of those, what do you call those? Symptoms.
Yep.
So,
get plenty of sleep. That was one thing that I kept seeing over and over.
Okay, that kind of makes me laugh because it just says right here. Let's see. Hold on.
Get plenty of sleep.
Hold on. It says you have sleep problems. You can't sleep or you wake up too early. But get plenty of sleep.
Get plenty of sleep. So
take some sleeping pills. I don't know.
Sometimes, like for me, I know I could literally sleep 12 hours.
Yeah.
And that's kind of weird for most people. Like, why are you sleeping your life away? But it's just the fatigue. I'm just, I don't feel like I'm ready to fall asleep until probably about midnight. And then if I go to sleep at midnight, then I don't want to get up.
But you're like me, though.
I don't want to.
You watch TV and you play on your phone. Now, if you laid in bed at 9, took a bath, took a shower, got in bed at 9, and read a book, I guarantee you'd be asleep.
But I still wouldn't want to wake up before 9.
Well, that might be true. Yeah, I don't like to get up early. I am not a morning person.
Could it be I'm just lazy? Yeah. Maybe.
No. Well, and I think that's the thing is differentiating, like really, like maybe like a health log. If you're not sure, write down the things you ate that day. Write down I was moody today. I was maybe, I have irregular periods or my periods are good, but I'm getting all this other stuff. Because sometimes you think something and you don't realize you've been doing it because you don't keep track of it. Yeah, that's true. So that might be helpful.
All right, guys. Well, this has been our little fireside chat on menopause and perimenopause. You're still sexy, girl.
Sexy combo.
Sexy girl. Yeah. But please share this podcast.
Send it to somebody that you know that's between 40 and 50 and that's crabby and don't freaking sleep and you don't know what the hell's wrong with them. then you send this and say, hey, check this out. This might apply.
They might beat you up afterwards, but that's okay. At least they'll have some new information.
Yes.
But please share, like, give us 5 stars now, guys. And until next time, bye.
Bye.